Okay, don't mind me. I'm just stood on top of the Royal Albert Hall. That's it. Pretty cash.
Back in September, I got to spend a genuinely luxurious amount of time at the Royal Albert Hall. I saw a show, I went up onto the roof, I had a full historical tour, I spent time in the archives, and I stayed long after midnight, just spending time in the hall while it was being reset for the next day. It was one of those rare experiences where you're allowed to slow down, really pay attention, and let it all sink in. Now, this story goes well beyond what I can fit into a YouTube video, so I've made a full-length documentary, which is now live on Nebula. What you're about to watch here is a sneak peek, a glimpse into that day and into a building where history doesn't just live, it keeps happening. I hope you enjoy this snippet, and if you want to see the full documentary, there's more information about Nebula at the end of this video. The Royal Albert Hall, Britain's most prestigious venue, created for the advancement of the arts and sciences, stands as an engineering marvel, a cultural powerhouse, and a striking tribute from Queen Victoria to the German prince whose name it carries. Its story is a testament to Victorian ambition, bold ideas made real through design, discipline, and a frankly outrageous amount of red velvet. The German idea of Gesamtkunstwerk means a total work of art, a synthesis of forms becoming something greater than the sum of their parts. The Royal Albert Hall fits that perfectly. The building itself is art and architecture, science and spectacle, all fused into one extraordinary space, and across its stage have passed some of the most influential cultural figures of the last century: Maya Angelou, Ella Fitzgerald, Nina Simone, Adele, Lianne La Havas, alongside the Beatles, Muhammad Ali, Albert Einstein, Bob Dylan, the Suffragettes, Winston Churchill, and Eric Clapton, who has played here more than 200 times. Today, the hall presents over 360 events a year: comedy, classical, contemporary, circus, even sumo wrestling, welcoming more than 1.6 million people through its doors. I'm Mary Spender, singer-songwriter and filmmaker, and I've dreamed of playing this venue since I was a teenager. When Chris from the Royal Albert Hall team heard that it was my bucket list stage, he invited me to come and film. I spent a full day and then long into the night after the audience had gone home, exploring what really happens behind the scenes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In this documentary, we're going behind the curtain of the Royal Albert Hall, its history, its legacy, and the people who make the magic happen. First stop, the roof. This was quite an experience. I'll be honest, it felt exhilarating in a way that briefly convinced my nervous system I was risking my safety. I wasn't. Everything was perfectly safe. But standing up there, looking out across London, and then looking down onto the stage, knowing what's directly beneath your feet, it's hard not to feel a little electric. What a way to start the day. Okay, this is an absolutely spectacular honour, being on the rooftop of the Albert Hall. I mean, look where I am, guys. This is amazing.
Hi, I'm Rhiannon Bromley-Beer. I'm the Deputy Health and Safety Manager here at the Royal Albert Hall. Welcome to our amazing flat roof. I'm going to take you around before we go up into the dome for the main highlight. We're currently on the south side of the building. To our left, we've got the Albert Mansions. As we start going round, you'll start seeing the whole area, which is called Albertopolis because of Prince Albert and the work he did in this area.
Okay guys, I'm going to be real with you. I'm not great with heights, like most people are not great with heights. So I am going to be a brave girl and manage this. But let's see what it's all about.
So just mind this cable as you're coming up. When we first go out there, you'll be stepping onto a trapdoor. Don't worry, it only opens upwards. That is completely solid when you step out onto that.
Okay.
Once you go past that, it's kind of like walking on a trampoline.
Oh my God.
But
okay.
You are absolutely fine.
I just don't feel like I'm confident enough for that. All right, I'm going to take my first steps. I've walked on an anechoic chamber before. Oh my God, okay, right. I do see. It's like the little wires are like moving underneath you, but you can bounce on it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm cool as a cucumber. Ooh. Oh my God.
After that, I went into a full historical tour of the building, including some ghost stories. And this was where the scale of the Royal Albert Hall really started to sink in, not just as a venue, but as an idea. Learning how it was founded, why it was built, and how it has adapted over time made it feel less like a monument and more like a living system. This building has survived because it keeps changing and because people keep finding new reasons to fill it with sound.
This has been the royal entrance since 1914. Who's in charge of us? That's going to be George V and his Queen, Queen Mary. People always ask me where these stairs go. They go to the royal loo. No, it's not gold. It's just a normal loo. Often we hear, this is all closed off, but talking of those ghosts, often we hear footsteps. There's no one there. We know there isn't.
Have you, be honest with me, have you heard
them? I don't. I don't mind. I know.
No, that you're joking.
No, there's
no one there.
No, they can't be on this side either.
No, you're messing with me.
Stop.
You're messing with me.
Stop it. So there's like two little girls. There's an old gentleman. But you see, I was told that it was Queen Victoria's mother, the Duchess of Kent. Now she's also the ghost at Buckingham Palace. So she must get the tube. I don't know how else she's flying, I suppose. But sometimes you feel like feathers on your face, feathers. Well, you might even get a boot in your back. So it's interesting. It doesn't bother me, stuff like that, but it's interesting.
Then came the archives. This was one of the most quietly moving parts of the day for me, being surrounded by programmes, letters, photographs and records of performances stretching back generations. You get this strange sensation of time collapsing in on itself. You're standing in the present, holding evidence of the past in a building that's already preparing for whatever comes next. It really hit me that this is a space where history isn't finished. It's still being written.
This is a very, very special item in our collection. This is the Great Pop Proms in 1963. And the reason this is such a special programme is because it's one of a handful of times where the Rolling Stones and the Beatles played together on the same night. What's really interesting about it is the Beatles were kind of quite well known at the time. They'd had hits like Please Please Me and Twist and Shout. But the Rolling Stones, on the other hand, were a little less well known. And we've got a lovely kind of bit of bio in the programme to describe them, which says, "We're sure you'll give this madly exciting group the same tumultuous hearing they've already had all over London and the home counties." So they were sort of not as well known. What's really fantastic as well is we got donated this lovely photograph of the Beatles by a fan who was at the gig at the time. We think it was probably taken before the gig because they were chased off by 6,000 screaming girls into a taxi at the end of the gig. So this is kind of just before, and you've got Ringo holding the album Please Please Me, Paul signing an autograph. And it's a kind of lovely kind of capture a moment before what became a really insane career.
I had a realisation when I was with the archives team. It must be extraordinary to work in a place where history doesn't just sit on shelves. It keeps happening every single night. That's why the work they do matters so much. Someone has to catch these moments as they fall, to document every show, every artist, every little piece of magic before it disappears.
I have to say a very special thank you to the team at the Royal Albert Hall for having me, particularly Chris, who helped organise this whole thing, and then to everyone who showed me around today. You're all absolutely wonderful and special, and really just gave me so much excitement and adrenaline and joy and history and education on this incredible venue. So yeah, maybe one day I might end up playing here, but we'll see. A lot of hard work to do.
There is something quietly radical about the Royal Albert Hall. It was built on the belief that art, science, and culture matter enough to deserve permanence, that some work should not be rushed, sliced up, or bent to fit a trend cycle, but protected, documented, and passed on intact. That is why this documentary lives on Nebula. Most platforms today are built for speed, shorter clips, faster turnover, attention shaved down to the bone. Convenient, yes, but not designed for deep work, long stories, or the people who make them. You do not really own your creative life there. You rent it briefly until the system changes its mind. Nebula is different. It is a creator-owned streaming platform built so filmmakers like me can make projects like this properly. No ads, no pressure to cut for time, no compromises to satisfy an algorithm. Just the full version of the work exactly as it was meant to be seen. On Nebula, you can watch this Royal Albert Hall documentary in its complete form alongside my most in-depth films, the ones that do not belong in a distracted scroll. The making of Songbook lives there exclusively, telling the full behind-the-scenes story of recording 26 songs in one summer and turning them into 2 albums. You'll also find the extended cuts of the Dire Straits story with more from John Illsley and the full Led Zeppelin documentary, including my conversation with biographer Bob Spitz, with all the nuance left intact. Nebula has quietly become a home for thoughtful storytelling from hundreds of creators, originals, extended versions, and early access, all ad-free and beautifully watchable. And because Nebula is creator-run, when you watch there, you are directly supporting the people who make the work, not a faceless middle layer, not fractional royalties vanishing into spreadsheets, actual support for long-form art. During December, Nebula is offering 50% off the annual subscription. That brings it down from $60 to $30 for the entire year. They're also offering a 3-day free trial, so you can watch the Royal Albert Hall documentary right now in full and explore the platform before deciding whether to subscribe. You can also give Nebula as a gift. A gift card gives someone full access to this documentary and everything else on the platform, and it's one of the simplest ways to support independent creators in a lasting way. So if you want to watch this film and many others like it in a space built for depth, craft, and ownership, use the link below or scan the QR code on screen, and I'll see you on Nebula. But, as always, I'll also be seeing you here again very, very soon.
How I'm vlogging now, just getting other people to do the hard work instead of me having to be on camera. This is amazing. And look, I'm jumping. There we go. I am actually jumping. It might just look like the camera is just going like that. It is currently 1 a.m, but let's fast back to earlier in the day. That doesn't make sense, does it? Fast back. It's 1 a.m, guys.